How's it going, everybody? My name is Sessler. I'm the host of this new show called ArtStory, brought to you by the Art Council, Windham Art Council. And just before I start, I want to make a couple of announcements of what the show is going to look like and the thing. So we're going to have different artists around Windham County and maybe even perhaps around the United States and maybe around the world. And we're going to talk about what makes them the artists that they are and what they do, and hopefully we can have some of that art stuff here. So, and another really quick announcement before I go on, we're gonna have a cool things the Windham Art. Oh, another thing I want to say is I'm a member of the Art Council now, so that's it's pretty cool. Just saying. So we're gonna have the art month coming up in March. So there's gonna be information right here. If you want to look up more, if you have a student or anything, it's going to be really fun. We've been doing this for 36 years, funding young artists and, kind of nourishing them into becoming the artists that they became or not. And also, we have the Art Extravaganza in Brattleboro, well, of course, May 6th to the 8th. So it's going to be a whole weekend-long party. It's going to be really fun. Again, more information if you want to know about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, without too much introduction, I would like to introduce my first guest of this ever show, Mr. Peter Gould.
Hey, Esther, how are ya?
I'm doing fantastic. This is pretty fun, this show right here.
I am so proud to be your first guest. This will go down in history.
Yes.
Your history, my history, and the history of the Arts Council, too.
Yes. There's this thing that people do where they kicked in Mexico. They kicked them for being their first show.
Well, okay,
so
you go ahead.
Kick me?
No. I would never want to hurt you. No.
Okay, Well, the thing is, you kick me, so you have to kick me.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
So now we can start the show. So what are you up to these days, Peter?
Working at the Youth Theater, and I have a new cast of the play Jungle Book, which I created from the Rudyard Kipling, from the Rudyard Kipling book. Not many people know that Rudyard Kipling, famous writer, lived here in Brattleboro, and he wrote the Jungle Book and most of the Just So stories right here when he lived here in the 1890s. And so it's not only that I'm working with these young people and teaching them all about the story, but we're also learning a lot about Brattleboro history too.
Wow.
Jungle Book. Don't miss it. You've got wonderful young kids, and it's going to have song and dance and a lot of wonderful lines and a lot of physical theater, because physical comedy is my thing, and it starts at the New England Youth Theater on February 12th.
Nice.
2 weekends.
Wow, that's awesome.
But that's not all I'm doing.
No, that's not what you're doing. I just got distracted by it. The Jungle Book was... I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Now you know.
Now I know. But you're also doing something else these days. Are you promoting something?
Well, I'm a writer.
Yep.
Which is my main thing. And here's a copy of my new book, which is called Marley. And it's a wild book. It's written in a form that I've never, ever seen before. And it's an entirely new literary form. And
nobody really has ever written something like this, right?
No. I don't think so. It's this one-night attraction between a woman and a man, and the man is the person who is speaking. The woman is also speaking too. She's in here. Here's a picture of her, and but his lines are the only lines that you see in the pages of the book, and all the lines that she speaks, of which there are many, you have to make up yourself, and they come fast and furious and fun. So this is the kind of book that demands much more of you than most books that you just pick up and read. Yeah, they're pages. Yes, they're words. But one half of the words are only in your own mind. Exactly. Marley.
So if you want it, you should get this book, by the way. You can get it at your local bookstore, right?
Yes.
You're selling them. But the cool thing about this is that I guess you see this person that is not there, like you get to know her without really ever hearing her voice.
But you do hear her voice.
I mean, yeah, you do like her.
It's in your own mind.
Yeah,
it's really wild. Cool. It was a fun book to write. I started to work on this story, and in an instant, the idea for the story, and the idea for the people who are in it, and the idea for the situation, and the idea that it would be a nice way of speaking about about wind power here in Vermont, and also the form of it, the literary form, all popped into my head all at once, and I went with it. And I've been working on the book for about 3 years, and now it's out. It's an actual book, a short book. And I didn't want to make it too long because it takes a lot of work to read it.
Yeah. Like, well, I was gonna ask, what was the hardest part of writing a book like this, or like with this book? What was the hardest part of doing it?
Oh, it's not hard.
It's not hard?
Not hard at all. It's so much fun to write because you go so deep. I mean, you just go so deep into your own mind, and you travel down and down and down into a place where, you know, it's this great big black void of place, like a universe where ideas with wings are flying around, and one idea lands in your head, and you're like, where did that idea come from? And it's so exciting, and it's such a high.
Yeah, and it's, you know, like I feel personally that sometimes I have these great ideas, and then unless I write them down at the moment, it just leaves, you know?
Not responsible for lost ideas.
So just write them down as soon as
so
you
you
get
know.
them. Yeah. It's I feel like that happens to me a lot. It's like, oh, what was that good idea I had, you know? And as a comedian, do you have like, or a writer, do you have a notebook with you like at all times, or just?
Not really. I mean, if I have an idea that I want to save, I speak it into my phone.
Oh, so you got the memo kind of.
I got the memo thing there, yes.
Yeah, it's more personalized. Yeah, that's awesome.
Helped me out of many a difficult spot. When I suddenly remember, oh, wait a second, I have an oral note about that. Yeah, and there it is. Mm-hmm.
Now you have this thing on the latches, right?
Oh yes, we are, because it's a book which is sort of like a play. We thought it'd be really a good idea to have an event where one person reads it out loud. So if you're interested, and I think that you might be, you go to the Latches and you go upstairs to the ballroom at 4 o'clock next Sunday, February 7th. You'll hear Johnny Flood reading the book out loud. So for those of you who think, I don't really read books anymore, it's sort of hard for me, when do I have the time? It takes so much work. You just go in there and you sit back and you listen to the book being read out loud. It's free, but if you leave a donation, 100% of the donations go to the Women's Freedom Center.
Wow, awesome.
100%.
You should definitely go there, February 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I want to ask you something kind of more personal. Is that okay?
Maybe. We'll see.
It's winter nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how do you, I guess, nourish your art creativity part? Like, or how does the winter affect your creativity?
Well, I stay active, you know. I burn wood. I have a beautiful house where I have a couple stoves. If I look outside, like I was, you know, this afternoon, and I saw snow, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to put a couple pieces of wood in the stove and to work on my next writing project. Most of the time, though, I don't have that space and time to do that kind of work, because I don't know you people out there, the life of a self-employed artist. You're always busy. You're always out there working on the next job. You know, planning for the job that you don't yet have, thinking about and trying to put to bed the job that you just have. So most of the time, I'm just busy, without that much time to sit, to reflect, to create, to actually go deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because during the summer you have that Shakespeare camp that you have as well.
Right. So
there's all this stuff. Yeah. Good. The reason why I wanted to ask this question was because I asked that question to people. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know what keeps people creative, and this is what they said.
Cabin fever keeps me creative during the winter. The fact that I can't leave my house and do much of anything means that I sit inside and write.
When there's snow on the ground and there's no leaves on the trees, you can see farther. And I think that kind of helps stir things up, you know.
What keeps me creative in the winter? I think spending a lot of time indoors, you know, thinking about all the physical activity that I will be doing once it gets warmer.
I stay home I feel like composing music. I feel like writing poetry. And I feel I am more creative in the winter.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, obviously winters in Vermont they're tough. You need to kind of keep warm and keep the juices flowing. Ironically enough, I actually paint. I love to paint.
Creative. I would like to paint. Really in the winter, I'm just outside a lot. Snowshoeing, running.
What keeps me creative is looking outside and seeing the beautiful scenery of Vermont, and I don't know, I get inspired by that. I really like the cold. It's really refreshing. I think it helps the mind work, and I don't know, it actually helps me to be creative in the winter personally.
Oh, I love the winter. I love being outside. I just went skating on the meadows earlier today, and it was perfect conditions. And I feel like the winter sort of wakes me up in this way with the cold air and snow and ice, and I love it.
Winter is my least favorite season, I should say.
Oh, getting outside. I love skating at the retreat meadows in Brattleboro. Going outside and having some downtime in the woods is always my way to rejuvenate my creative process.
Wow, so that was quite a video that we actually didn't see, but
I can see it in my mind's eye. I'm sure it was wonderful.
No, people have trouble. You know, the winter is tough for people, and then it's the vitamin deficiency. It's hard. It's harsh. So please stay creative during this hard time of winter.
It's not that hard, Essler.
It's not that bad.
No, it's beautiful.
I was told that it was gonna be bad, and I was gonna hate it, and I don't hate it. I just love. I moved from Austin, Texas, and I love it here. It's a nice place. It's a really nice place. Well, Peter, thank you so much for coming on the show and being my first guest.
Your first guest. I am so thrilled.
I'm so happy.
So thrilled.
And pick up this book. They have it at all the local bookstores. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe this one better. There we go. Marley by Peter Gould. Again, thank you so much. Have a good day. And enjoy.
See you soon.
Yeah, thank you. My next guest, Peter just left, and now my next guest is Amati. She's a belly dancer, and without me saying too much about it, how are you doing today?
Wonderful, thank you.
I'm glad. How did you get involved with belly dancing? This is actually before I ask that question, because it's kind of a deep. Where are you from? Are you from Brattleboro?
I grew up in Westminster, Vermont, so it's just north of here, and I did go to high school in the area. And I went to the Career Center in the high school here, and I did the dance program there, which was wonderful, and I loved it. So that was really where I started dancing initially, and now I live in West Brattleboro.
Oh, nice. So you just kept dancing? Like, is there other types of dances that you did?
Yes, when I first started, I was doing primarily ballet and modern, with also some jazz and occasional other things mixed in. So I did that for a few years before I found belly dancing. And I still take ballet once a week at Sobo Studio, and it's a lot of fun. It's the ballet world is very different from the belly dance world, so it's interesting to be able to take the ballet techniques and help my belly dance by knowing them and using them. Yeah. But when I started dancing, I was already 17, which in the ballet world is very old, so you can't really, it's very difficult to get into a professional level of dancing in ballet at that age. And belly dance is much more welcoming professionally, of different ages and sizes and abilities. So it's less of a cookie cutter, where I felt like ballet, although it's very beautiful, everyone was kind of expected to do the exact same move the exact same way, where belly dance gives you a little more freedom to have your own style, and it's okay if the same move looks different on two people because they have different body types or different range of motion. So, and that's what really drew me to it. was that kind of overall acceptance of being different and celebrating it.
Well, I was not really aware of all the of I guess the meaning behind belly dancing. You know, I was part of this. It was like Goddess Rising. It was a lot of. I don't know if you were part of that.
I was. Yeah.
So I in that moment I got to know like what it meant. You know, like the I guess the empowering that it has on women.
It is very empowering. I think a lot of women end up being drawn to belly dance because it does have a strong community of women that are very supportive, where other things are sometimes competitive. You know, gymnastics and ballet and things like that tend to, even though you're friends with the people you're doing it with, there's such a competitive aspect to it that it makes it hard to really foster a supportive community. And belly dance is really, really welcoming and supportive. And I've never felt any competition. Everyone's really happy for each other and their abilities, and supportive when we're having hard times. So I think once you become involved in the belly dance community, you kind of automatically get this like new group of friends that everyone will just do anything for you and be really supportive. And it's so I think that aspect of it is what's so special about it, as opposed to just the way the movement is. But for women especially, the movement is also very natural. So sometimes women have tried something that's really high impact, or it just doesn't feel natural for their body. And so when they try belly dance, usually, you know, there's always exceptions, but usually women kind of feel like, oh, okay, I can do this. My body is capable of doing this, even though it looks hard. A lot of the movements are really natural.
Yeah, and it's really fun. Like, it's really fun to see, really. It's very visually fun to see, and see that person is having fun doing it and not you know, hurting their toes with doing ballet. Even though ballet does look good and stuff. Are you part of a group in town or?
Yeah, I'm co-directing All Amal Belly Dance Company with Sindel Ellis of Sobo Studio, which is at the Cotton Mill Hill. And it's a professional belly dance company. We found that there was kind of a need in the belly dance company for some, or in the belly dance community in this area, for something more advanced. So, and you know, Sindel and I just also wanted to have an outlet for our own creativity. So we decided to form a professional company that would simultaneously be about education and community and art. So our goal is really, on the one hand, to present belly dance to the public in a way that that educates, because in the Western world there is so much misunderstanding about belly dance and what it is. There's a lot of historically in the United States, there's a lot of thinking of it in line with strippers and burlesque dancers. So a lot of people kind of hear belly dance and are like, oh, I don't know. But it originated as a community dance. So we want to kind of bring that aspect back and help the public understand that that's what it is. It's not a dance of seduction or anything like that. It was just originally done as a social kind of thing at parties and things like that. So we want to bring back that kind of feeling of that it's a fun community thing for all ages and all genders, not a dance of seduction. It can certainly be used that way, and there are certainly people that do that. but that's not what the
main point,
essence
yeah.
of it is. Yeah.
Now, where can people, I guess, learn about? Do you have any upcoming shows or anything coming soon?
We do on May 6th during the Arts Council event. Alamal will be performing at that.
Should come.
And also in mid-May, we're hoping to put on our first full-length show at Sobo Studio, which will be the entire company.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so and I also heard somebody that you might do some dancing for us today and show us what you what is for you guys and ladies.
Yes,
and
I
do some
will.
dancing. Yeah. Can you explain it a little before we get into it? What are you going to be doing?
Sure. There's lots of different styles of belly dance depending on country and region of the countries. And so what I'm going to be performing today is the Lebanese style, modern pop kind of belly dance. So it should be fun.
Awesome. Yeah, well, let's get to it. Let's
Great.
do it.
Thank
and
you.
since we have the magic of the television here, we're going to do this and just boom! Whoa, magic. Anyways, everybody, please, Amati. That was awesome. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Anyways, this is Amati, everybody. Yeah, this is the end of the show. And what else do I have to say? Yeah, please come in tune next month. We'll have more guest appearances. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's it, man.